again. Now, Jeff, we don't have any dinosaurs, we don't have any Terminators, but we got a summer blockbuster here tonight. 3 championship matches.
All the belts are on the line. The Whirlwind Gentlemen, Todd, defend their championships in our main event tonight. But there's even more.
That's right. The Legacy title on the line as Caleb Konley defends against the Irish juggernaut Mikey O'Shea. And how about the way we're going to kick things off?
A little bit of revenge is sweet, and a lot is even sweeter. Hammerstone defends right now against the Vampire Warrior, Gangrel. The challenger, the Vampire Warrior, Gangrel.
This episode of the West Coast Wrestling Connection is brought to you in part by The Brunch Box, Beds for Less and Furniture, Voodoo Donut, Cash Ross Creations, Dave's Killer Magic Shop, Hampton Inn and Suites, The Pita Pit, Sparky's Pizza, and Sports Radio 750 102.9 The Game.
I thought I was out of range.
My white coat is ruined.
And his opponent, he is the WCWC Pacific Northwest Champion, Alexander Hammerstone.
I'm sorry.
Oh, go ahead. You know this, man.
A true champion doesn't spit on us. Shows a lot of class and respect as he heads out to the ring.
Well, literally he doesn't, but I think figuratively many times you and Hammerstone, the Wrecking Crew, have spit on the rules and spit in the face of authority. Care to elaborate?
Yeah, I'm going to spit in your mouth in a minute.
Wow, this escalated really quickly.
So no Kennelly talk, and I want all Mr. Aiken tonight.
I don't think there's a mute Kennelly movement.
We're going to start one.
Jeff, though, break down this incredible matchup. I mean, a main event anywhere, and we're kicking off with the Pacific Northwest Heavyweight title on the line.
Huge, huge event tonight, Todd. Pacific Northwest Championship on the line. And this match, this rivalry goes back some time to where Gangrel got into the face of Hammerstone, actually helped cost him his very first pinfall in singles competition against Swade Thompson. He does not like bullies, and now Gangrel gets his shot at that right there, the Pacific Northwest Championship.
And if one of our people in the Wrecking Crew had done what Gangrel did, you'd be screaming and yelling, but oh no, in this case, it's perfectly fine.
But you bring up an interesting point there, Jeff. How does that play into the psyche of the Pacific Northwest title holder, Hammerstone? Somebody who had never had his shoulders pinned to the mat for the 1-2-3 for a decision in a matchup. Does that affect him coming in here in this title defense?
Oh, it absolutely does. It wasn't long ago that Hammerstone was with our backstage interviewer, Pat Kelly, where he was talking about how dominant he is, how there is no competition here in the West Coast Wrestling Connection because he's better than everyone. And Gangrel was the first one to show him that, yes, indeed, there is competition. He got his first loss. You know that's digging into the psyche of Hammerstone. And now, look at that. Gangrel trying to out-wrestle.
I think Hammerstone trying to take him up and over for the suplex, trying to invite the veteran to the suplex party. But Gangrel hit decline on the Evite, and now he's got the offense cooking. Scoop and a slam. Vampire Warrior perhaps looking for that corkscrew elbow. Tries to deliver, but Hammerstone, to his credit, Morty, too quick there. He had it scouted.
Hammerstone is an angry man right now. He did have that loss recently. He's not going to lose his belt to the Vampire guy. No way.
Well, it's a different game, Todd, as you know, when you're a champion, a singles title holder. Gangrel, no stranger to being a champion, a former Legacy champion, former Pacific Northwest champion. He actually won the Pacific Northwest Championship September 1st, 2013. If he defeats Hammerstone, he'll be a two-time champion.
And I think he really had that title stolen from him by Caleb Konley with that winner's choice opportunity. Gangrel, also a former tag team champion with the likes of the Irish juggernaut Mikey O'Shea, who we will see with his shot at championship gold, taking on Caleb Konley for the legacy title tonight, as these two men, champion and challenger, now battling on the outside, throwing some serious heat.
Gangrel's the only one cheating, throwing punches out there. Hammerstone's trying to have a wrestling match. It's obvious to me.
Gangrel, though, Morty, to your point, has got to be leery of the count. You can't win the title on the outside, and the Vampire Warrior, the veteran, knows that, gets the champion back in. And right now, Hammerstone was in trouble, but second man in the ring, Jeff, always at a disadvantage.
Well, as a matter of fact, they call it the champion's advantage. It's exactly what it is. The champion has to be beaten, submit, or be pinned. 1, 2, 3, and Gangrel going for that Impaler DDT, and Hammerstone ducking out of dodge real quick.
Well, we're here at the Armory. Both men trying to connect with the heavy artillery, but a blatant low blow. And are you going to defend that, Morty? No way for a champion.
He did what we called in my hockey days a leg whip ankle trip.
A leg whip ankle trip. I'm going to have to look that one up.
You'll find it.
I thought maybe he was going to say it was a groin massage of some sort.
No, it was a leg whip ankle trip. A groin massage is something different. I'll show you later if it happens.
No, thanks. I think you threatening to spit in my mouth is enough I can handle for one day. The champion, though, turns it around in a hurry, Jeff, and he can do that. And now the veteran body of Gangrel going to be put to the test like perhaps never before. The Pacific Northwest champion will bruise you up, he'll punish you, and Hammerstone right where he wants to be right now in the match.
Hammerstone's got a deep gas tank. He's in incredible shape. Probably pound for pound a little more powerful than Gangrel. But you said it, that veteran body of Gangrel, at some point the punishment just stacks up and stacks up. And Hammerstone, that youth, that endurance definitely on his side. But the Vampire Warrior firing back. He wants that gold and he wants to teach Hammerstone that lesson that bullies don't win.
Well, to play devil's advocate or vampire's advocate, I don't know if Hammerstone's ever seen anybody as the champion goes for the cover now, and Gangrel kicks out. At what point does doubt start to creep into the mind of the ultra-cocky champion Hammerstone as Vampire Warrior continues to find a way to kick out of this high-octane offense?
I'll ask Morty that question. I don't believe that Hammerstone ever allows doubt to enter into his psyche. What kind of insights can you offer?
I'm still getting over the ultra-cocky line, Mr. Kennelly. He's not ultra-cocky. When you're that good, you don't need to be cocky. And Hammerstone is just that good.
Just that good and just that arrogant.
But also on the heels of being pinned by somewhat of a journeyman, Swade Thompson.
Due to cheating by that man right there, the vampire guy.
Referee's decision is final. Vampire Warrior, the challenger, back to his feet, starts to pepper him with strikes, but he runs right into a freight train. Just when you think it's a light at the end of the tunnel, Jeff Aiken, the freight train coming his way, and the champion back in control. And if you're playing at home, that's Metallica reference number 1. Take a shot.
I can't wait for number 2.
Alexander Hammerstone has absolutely dominated as Pacific Northwest champion. He won the belt from hotshot Danny Duggan on December 13th of 2014. We are creeping up on almost 7 months of a championship reign by this man, and he has, while he has been defeated in tag team competition and defeated once in a non-title match, he has dominated the ranks as of late.
Pretty good percentages on winning, I would say, guys.
Yep, the only time I really recall him being pinned other than Swade Thompson was in a 2 out of 3 falls matchup, so it was not the decisive fall. So it does not count in the overall record. And Hammerstone now using that bottom rope. You talked about the champion's advantage. The champion could get disqualified, hold on to the title. Could get counted out, hold on to the title. Do you think that plays into the strategy of Hammerstone?
Oh, no question. I think at some point, Hammerstone feels like he's in trouble. He's going to duck out of the ring. He's going to get himself disqualified, and I'm sure all under the tutelage of none other than Morty Lipschitz.
Have you noticed what's missing or who's missing out here? He's all by himself. He doesn't need anybody to retain his title. He will take care of Gangrel with no outside interference, as you gentlemen would call it.
But somehow they still need the Lipschitz propaganda machine out here?
I'm not a propaganda machine. I'm a lovely attorney.
Okay, maybe not a propaganda machine, just a propaganda printing press. But nonetheless, Hammerstone now just mocking the Vampire Warrior. He could have gone for a pinfall there, but he's just laying in those fists, maybe going for that disqualification.
Hammerstone, to me, the body language would tell the tale that he is getting frustrated. He wants to get Gangrel out of there. Easier said than done. The Vampire Warrior continues to sit up, resurrect himself, get out of that coffin just when you think you got him 6 feet deep.
trying hard to get out. Hammerstone wrenching on the neck of Gangrel, and you can hear the fans solidly behind the Vampire Warrior.
I'm not hearing that. I'm hearing him say, Hammerstone. Hammerstone. What match you guys watching?
And the one where everyone's chanting for Gangrel.
I'm just not hearing it.
I don't think you know how to count syllables. Hammerstone, the champion. This has been a back-and-forth title match. What an incredible way to kick off the program. Goes downstairs. That's step one. Thinking Impaler step two. But Hammerstone too strong. Gets out of there. Who's going to get the advantage? Deep power slam. Couldn't hold on into the pin. That might cost him, Jeff.
He didn't quite catch the entire power slam, like you said, but he's able to keep those clotheslines going. I have to think if he would have gotten that power slam in all the way, we'd be looking at a new champion right now.
If he could have gone right into the cradle, but he is going full speed ahead. Big Bulldog out of the corner by the challenger, who just might call himself the champion in about 3.5 seconds here, Morty.
1, 2, 3.5. Guess you blew it again, didn't you?
Oh, no, he's waiting for Hammerstone to get back to his feet. If Gangrel's going to win this match, he's going to do it like a champion, face to face. Going for that Impaler one more time.
Hammerstone, the power, has been a difference maker in this matchup, gentlemen. Gangrel has gone for that Impaler 2 or 3 times throughout the matchup. Hasn't had the power to take him up and over. And a vicious knee strike might knock those fangs right out of the Vampire's mouth.
We've seen this strategy from Hammerstone before, going corner to corner, trying to get that momentum, trying to get the torque on top of his power. There he goes for a belly-to-belly overhead and drops Gangrel right on his dome.
Challenger might not be doing too much fanging and banging after this.
It's over.
Whoa! Just barely by the skin of the ring does he get his boot up over that rope.
And I will give the old Vampire a little kudos there. He saw where the ropes were and put his foot over the ropes. Give him credit. That's an experienced veteran doing that.
Look out here. Hammerstone thinks he won it, Jeff. What a roll-up by the Vampire Warrior, too. He got him!
Ladies and gentlemen, your winner and new WCWC Pacific Northwest champion, the Vampire Warrior, Gangrel.
This place has come unglued. Vampire Warrior adds to his impressive legacy. For the Vampire, winning titles has been his business for many a year, and business continues to boom. Unbelievable.
There he is, Vampire Warrior Gangrel. A couple high fives here at the broadcast booth, and the fans going crazy. Hammerstone dethroned.
The veteran did something that nobody has been able to do. That's take that title away from Hammerstone. Morty, your thoughts?
Yeah, by pulling his trunks. You didn't see that? How can you get a man that weighs that much in that position for that long for a pin count without pulling the tights?
Well, now how many syllables do you hear, Morty? I think they're saying you got beat. Fans, so much more to come. 2 title matches, tag team titles, legacy titles up for grabs. Well, there's a man who's got a little less gold around his waist. We'll be back right after this.
Sports Radio 750 and 1029 The Game is Portland's sports station. Dan Patrick live 6 to 9 a.m. Jim Rome 9 to noon. John Canzano noon to 3. The Huddle with Mike Rags 3 to 7. 750 and 1029 The Game.
Bobby Gatto here with the world-famous Wrecking Crew members, the Grappler and Jeremy Blanchard. Hey, has the leg lock of love prepared you for the tag team of life? Did she drop a pile driver on your heart? Did she proclaim you were the suplex of her love? Has the circle of life led you to the ultimate nuptial experience? Are you ready to train in the wrestling ring for a wedding ring? It's a good thing the Voodoo Donut is a full-service wedding chapel. Just use your smartphone and voodoo-donut.com. What was that again? You can find a wedding package that's right for you, and we'll put a killer finishing move to your pathetic singles lives. So, where are his ladies? Get married at any Voodoo Donut location. VoodooDonut.com. Clergy standing by!
Who'd this guy ever beat?
It's summer, and the action is heating up in the West Coast Wrestling Connection, so the time is right to see them live. Sunday, August 2nd at the Grapplers WCWC Academy in Salem. First bell is at 5 p.m. You'll see many of the top West Coast Wrestling Connection competitors, along with Academy students, as they battle it out for victory. For tickets, call 971-600-8215 or go to tickets at wc-wc.com. Summer's here, and so is the WC Live. See you there.
Sports Radio 750 and 1029 The Game is Portland's sports station. Dan Patrick, live 6 to 9 a.m. Jim Rome, 9 to noon. John Canzano, noon to 3. The Huddle with Mike Rags, 3 to 7. 750 and 1029 The Game.
Eric Wright, you're a tough guy, but I got a tough guy with me tonight. Romero, what are you doing to him?
Well, you know, it's a little convenient that his initials are ER, because I think after tonight, I think that's going to be where he's going to end up. Who do you love?
From Cambridge, Massachusetts, the Gentleman Brawler, Eric Wright.
Greg Romero likes to tell everyone how tough he is, and there's no question you're a tough, tough man. But you know the difference between you and me, Greg Romero? I don't have to tell anyone how tough I am, and you're going to find out why tonight.
And here comes a man who is always ready for a fight, the Gentleman Brawler, Eric Wright, coming to the ring, and as always, not coming alone. He's got himself one heck of a mustache brigade, the Little Brawlers, easy for me to say, in full effect.
Little Brawlers is a train that just keeps on coming. You can see him now, he's got them all together, hands in.
That was one humdinger of a pre-match celebration. Might be looking at a future challenger for the new Pacific Northwest champion Gangrel, or for the legacy champion, whether it be Caleb Konley, the incumbent holding on, or Mikey O'Shea.
Well, the reality is, I think a huge just kind of relief has happened. For so long, Hammerstone has had the singles division so locked up that there was almost a perception that there wasn't anywhere to rise, that there might be a glass ceiling in the West Coast Wrestling Connection. But Gangrel just showed there is no such thing. And so guys like Eric Wright, by this rebel Greg Romero, they're coming out and they're now fighting for that shot. They want gold, and right now gold's up for grabs.
Well, speaking of gold, Eric Wright has had the ecstasy of gold in the past. He's been a champion, tag team champion, but for Romero thus far, being a champion, the unnamed feeling. That is reference 2 and 3 on the Metallica count. I think I'm going to end there, though.
Well, I'm keeping a tally and looking forward to more myself, as was Morty Lipschitz, who's no longer here at ringside. Hashtag Mute Morty. Now, you saw over there Greg Romero conferring with his manager, Mr. Tubbs, coming back out and getting into a little bit of a traditional wrestling match now with Eric Wright. But you have to think that they come in here with a plan. Mr. Tubbs does not walk out here with some chicanery in his pocket, ready to unleash on his client's opponent.
Romero, though, has proven that he is a capable and tough competitor. Not too many guys will run over the Gentleman Brawler with a shoulder block. That's exactly what Romero did. And he has really been grinding on this side headlock, trying to win ugly, grind out a win over Eric Wright. If you can keep Wright close, then you nullify the fisticuffs.
Although I think that Greg Romero, if you want to get those fisticuffs going, here's a guy who can do it. A guy like him, he's been in the street fights between the Jets and the Sharks more than once, and he's going to play a little dirty trick right there, grabbing those tights of Eric Wright and sending his face right into that second turnbuckle pad.
Romero keeping that full court press on. He's got Eric Wright in the corner, delivering more shoulder strikes, and that has been his primary weapon thus far in the matchup. And a win here would be a big-time pack of smokes or gum up his sleeve, because that would be a huge win over Eric Wright, as we mentioned, has been a champion. Now 2 hands full of stash.
Referee chastising him for that, but not enough to get him disqualified. Eric Wright in a lot of pain. He works hard on that mustache.
Well, we might see if Eric Wright can ride his bike with no handlebars after this, because they might be a missing. Romero has been aggressive. If nothing else, Mr. Tubbs had his man ready for this matchup. Nice reversal, though. He might lock him in the sleeper. Romero, I think it was that grease, that oil on that hair that allowed him to get out of there.
Able to slip out of there, and that's the thing. Here we go. Hooks that far leg. And Eric Wright barely kicks out. You mentioned earlier, Todd, that Greg Romero staying close on Eric Wright, nullifying the fisticuff, but you get too close and you open up the window for that sleeper hold, and no one has mastered the sleeper hold to the level that Eric Wright has. He is so deadly and dangerous with that maneuver, but now Greg Romero, apparently, business is about to pick up, the shirt coming off.
Snapmare takedown, trying to measure his man into the full mount, and starts to rain down the ground and pound. Romero is a pretty unorthodox competitor in his own right. You don't know, he's still pretty new to the program. You never know exactly what you're going to get out of him.
You don't. We don't have a lot of video on him, a lot of film. All we know, as a matter of fact, you'd have to go back to the old black and white film with a little grain on it to see anything that he's got in there. Both competitors go down. Referee checking on him, making sure they're okay to continue. And if they are, he's going to lay down a 10 count that could result in a double count out.
Talked about these guys being evenly matched, and there you saw it there. Both men looking for the same thing, looking for the clothesline. Nice shot of that Granny Wright's Miracle Brain Tonic. Is that going to come into play? He's going for it. And the fans come to life. They know what happens if he takes a swig.
And there it is. Oh, God, I can smell the stuff over here. Whew.
I don't know what's in that Miracle Tonic, but I can only think it's maybe made of bits of real Panther, so you know it's good.
80% of the time, it works 100% of the time. There we go, the fisticuff that we knew was coming. Eric Wright gets going, and now Air Wright getting ready to take off on the tarmac.
Tower to runway. Romero Airlines is clear for takeoff. Round and round he goes where he stops. Only Eric Wright knows. And Mr. Tubbs pours himself onto the apron here. The words of Adam Sandler. I see what's going on here. It's too hot for penguins. Call the zoo.
The fans actually holding him back. Greg Romero with the cane and the sleeper. Eric Wright gets the sleeper locked in, and there's nowhere for Greg Romero to run, nowhere for him to hide.
And a fumble on the play. Romero loses the cane. So there will be no chicanery, as you mentioned. And he is going to La La Land. Shooby-doo-wop. That arm flops.
There it is.
Impressive victory yet again by the Gentleman Brawler. Chalks up another win here tonight. And if he can keep this run of momentum, I gotta think it's only a matter of time before we see the Gentleman Brawler brawling for championship gold.
We'll see who will challenge for that. We've got the Legacy Championship match coming up. And not only that, in our main event, the tag team titles on the line as well. Todd, it's gonna be unbelievable. Don't go anywhere.
That's a humdinger of a burger.
It's summer, and the action is heating up in the West Coast Wrestling Connection, so don't miss their next live PDX TV taping, Saturday, August 8th at the Jackson Armory in Portland. Tickets are only $10. Buy one and get one half off with no limit on half-off tickets. First bell is at 1 p.m. You'll see all of the top stars, the most action, and the best matches that WC has to offer. Tickets will be available at the door by calling a WC hotline or at tickets at WC-WC.com. This summer, there's nothing like the WC Live. See you there.
Beds for Less and Furniture. Beds for Less and Furniture. At Beds for Less and Furniture, we sell beds for less. Name brand mattresses, Englander, Lady Americana, Spring Air, dressers, mirrors, complete bedroom sets, kids furniture too. Beds for Less and Furniture has dining rooms, couches, love seats, sectionals, recliners for less. Name brands, Ashley, Coaster, and more here at Beds for Less and Furniture. Locations in Vancouver or shop bedsforlessfurniture.com.
Lights, cameras, action. Tonight, Dan Joseph, you are my co-star because there's only one star of the show and you're looking at him. And just like every single night, Joey Ryan is bringing Sleazy back to the
Welcome back, everyone, to the West Coast Wrestling Connection. Joey Ryan trying to bring Sleazy back and eventually going to try and put championship gold around that greasy waist of his. What a night it's been. We talked about champions defending, titles being won, history being made, but everybody else trying to get that spot in that pecking order, and one of the most well-traveled competitors, this man, Joey Ryan.
Sleazy as you may be, Joey Ryan, there is no denying you are one hell of an accomplished wrestler. So tonight, For the first time, I'm going one-on-one with you in the middle of the ring. You be as dirty as you want to be, because I'll be mopping the floor with you.
Excellent analysis there, Jeff, and Joey Ryan, a well-traveled competitor, but Dan Joseph has proved himself against veteran competition right here on this program, has a victory over Matt Stryker in the past, and we'll see if he can get it done in there with Joey Ryan. And this is a high-profile matchup. The winner of this has got bright things ahead for certain.
Oh, I think for sure, especially with the Legacy Championship on the line right after this. And I've just gotten word from the back. Next week, we will see Gangrel's very first title defense. And ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be against Kevin Cross.
Oh, man, things don't get any easier for the Vampire Warrior. Out of the frying pan in that match with Hammerstone, right into the fire with the Toll Man. Will the Toll Man collect his first championship? Will it be a short-lived title reign? We'll find out next week. What a matchup. I'm also being told, we just mentioned him, hey, I guess his ears were burning. Matt Stryker gonna return to the WCWC next week. He'll be in action.
Well, can you blame him? He's like a jackal, like some sort of carrion eater waiting now that the championship gold has moved. Now that it's on Gangrel, a decided rival of his, you gotta believe he's coming back now with his sights set on the Pacific Northwest Championship, just like Joey Ryan and Dan Joseph fighting hard right now, trying to stay in that championship picture and take on, hopefully they're hoping one day soon, the winner of the Legacy Championship match as Caleb Konley defends once again against Mikey O'Shea.
Physical and verbal assault by Joey Ryan, talking trash. And one single chop, nice counter there by Dan Joseph, but Joey Ryan has been hammering away. To your point, he's trying to keep it physical. He's been going with the methodical pace, and man, just ragdolls Dancing Dan to the canvas. It might be a break dance.
Well, he's gonna break him up, that's for sure. The referee checking on Dan Joseph, see if he wants to continue. And Joey Ryan just stalking his prey right now. Very different Joey Ryan than we're used to seeing. Just shows how adaptive he is with his style and what he can do with his offense, and laying those shoulders into the midsection of Dan Joseph, not only with a high impact, but also making it more difficult for Dan Joseph to breathe.
Trying to steal one here. Opportunistic roll-up by Dan Joseph. Caught Joey Ryan distracted, but Joey Ryan buries the knee right to the midsection and right back to work. He's got the higher ground here. He's got the position of advantage, and he's going to exploit it. Now into the body scissors. What does this do to the energy of Dan Joseph at this point in the matchup?
It completely saps it. It takes it away. It makes it impossible for him to get oxygen into his lungs. And with Dan Joseph being that high-energy competitor we've been talking about since he walked out, his oxygen is at an all-time premium. Joey Ryan just masterfully dissecting this competitor who's at the top of his game, and Dan Joseph.
Crowd wants Dan. They want to see him get out of this. Elbow strikes, 12-6. But Joey Ryan now switches to a rear waist lock. Dan Joseph trying to fight out of there, but Joey Ryan goes physical again. Dan Joseph spending a lot of time crumbling to the canvas. Oh, but power on display. Catches him with the cross body. Maybe gonna put that baby down for a 3-second nap. Samoan drop. How impressive was that?
Out of nowhere, Dan Joseph has not been able to catch a break this whole match, and then such a show of strength right there and fortitude as he throws Joey Ryan up onto his shoulders and drops him back. Joey Ryan has definitely slowed down a step or two, but Dan Joseph has got to keep this going.
Dan Joseph has caught his second win. Series of elbows, that's been a good weapon for him throughout the matchup. Joey Ryan, though, counters with the knee again. If it ain't broke, why fix it? Dan Joseph out the back door. Uh-oh, just might break the code. That is Joey Ryan into the cover, and that was close.
Just mere inches away from victory was Dan Joseph, and now he's a little bit frustrated. You can see that on his face. He thought that he was close to winning, but man, Todd, Joey Ryan has done so much damage to Dan Joseph. This is an incredible athletic showing by him.
I think he was thinking East Coast swing, but Joey Ryan just bull rushes him like a defensive tackle, trying to get to the quarterback. Takes him right back to the corner. Split second counter. Might have saved Joey Ryan in this matchup. DDT, nicely done by Dan Joseph. Back and forth seesaw matchup as Dan Joseph goes for the cover. Almost puts him away. This has been competitive exactly as we thought it would be.
Well, this just shows how big a win is right now in the West Coast Wrestling Connection. Everybody is looking for that championship gold after this. Caleb Konley defending the Legacy title against Mikey O'Shea, and both of these guys trying to get into that title hunt. A win in this match will be monumental for them. Dan Joseph setting him up. Here he goes, right in the middle of the ring.
I think the winner of this match puts themselves right in line for a shot at that Legacy title. Oh! If not Pacific Northwest, the walk-off. Somebody cue the rally monkey, and Joey Ryan gets him. It might have come down to the veteran instincts, the precision timing. Joey Ryan counters, hits the walk-off for the 1, 2, 3. Joey Ryan been hitting a whole lot of home runs here in the West Coast Wrestling Connection as of late.
Definitely making his presence felt as he stands in the ring, proud of himself and looking disdainfully on Dan Joseph, who gave him a real run for his money. Todd, the competition has never been hotter here in the WCWC, and right after this, the Legacy Championship is on the line. And don't forget, in our main event, the tag team title's on the line. It is championship night here on the West Coast Wrestling Connection.
It's a title wave of action. 2 championship matches. They're coming up next.
I thought puns were my thing.
Guilty of wardrobe malfunctions? Too many fashion fails? Cash Ross Creations, a doctor for your wardrobe. Cash Ross Creations, a leader in tailor-made suits for nearly 50 years. From professional to leisure suits, upcoming weddings or proms. Cash Ross has endless options and affordable elegance. Bespoke jeans, shirts, belts, and suits. Every fabric design available, we bring Hong Kong tailoring to you. Visit Cash Ross Creations downtown Portland or on the web.
It's summer, and the action is heating up in the West Coast Wrestling Connection, so the time is right to see them live. Sunday, August 2nd at the Grapplers WCWC Academy in Salem. First bell is at 5 p.m. You'll see many of the top West Coast Wrestling Connection competitors, along with Academy students, as they battle it out for victory. For tickets, call 971-600-8215 or go to tickets at wc-wc.com. Summer's here, and so is the WC Live. See you there.
Want to know what's going on in the West Coast Wrestling Connection? Then follow us on social media. Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, the WCWC, and WC-WC.com. The WCWC on social media, it's where we're at.
Last time we were in that ring, Caleb, I let you get the better of me. This time, no more games, no more excuses, just flat out no more!
From Cambridge, Massachusetts, the challenger, Mikey O'Shea!
Welcome back, everyone, to the West Coast Wrestling Connection. It is title time, the Legacy title on the line, and here you see the challenger, the Irish juggernaut, Mikey O'Shea, who has been on a tear since returning from a short layoff.
You heard it when he walked out. He came through that entrance, and the fans were immediately on their feet chanting, Mikey, Mikey. I tell you what, Todd, if he wins the championship tonight, after Hammerstone's defeat earlier, I believe that the roof is going to be blown off this armor.
Mikey O'Shea, in all of the WCWC, I don't know if there's anyone I like less than you. But for some reason, I feel like a nice guy today. You get one last chance at my title.
He is the West Coast Wrestling Connection Legacy Champion, Caleb Konley!
This is our nation.
The opportunistic Legacy champion Caleb Konley takes this time to get his shots after winning that winner's choice opportunity in a non-televised WCWC event. He went on to defeat Gangrel when he was really in no position to fight, speaking of the Vampire Warrior. But to his credit, Konley has held on to the title ever since by hook or by crook.
By crook. Let's be clear. The guy's a snake. He steals the Legacy Championship from Gangrel, your new Pacific Northwest champion, by the way, and has run away and gotten himself disqualified to hold on to that Legacy Championship ever since. This is not the first time, Todd, that Mikey O'Shea and Caleb Konley have stood on opposite ends of the ring from each other. But let's go back exactly 1 year from now. It was July 2014. The tag team of Caleb Konley and Mikey O'Shea won the WCWC Tag Team Championships. And now we are about to watch former champions literally explode here in the WCWC.
Huge opportunity for O'Shea to claim some singles gold. You talked about these two know each other quite well. O'Shea knows what a wily veteran and a snake in the grass, quite frankly, the champion Konley is. O'Shea usually a wrecking ball, just attacking at the opening bell, charging like a rhino. He's taking his time. He knows what he's facing in the champion here tonight.
You can hear the fans. Todd, it's a powder keg tonight. Such a huge beginning to the broadcast as Hammerstone defeated in the Pacific Northwest Championship, taken from around his waist. And now Mikey O'Shea capitalizing on this wave of momentum from the fans and just manhandles Caleb Konley, throwing him out of the ring.
O'Shea never losing his most recent title, the tag team titles. It was Jeremy Blanchard stabbing him in the back. And now O'Shea sets his sights on the Legacy title, a title that I think would really fit the Irish Juggernaut because he's a great sportsman. He gets in there. He's a tough competitor. He plays by the rules. The fans love him. That's the type of man that should hold that Legacy title, in my opinion.
Well, you ask yourself, in 20, 30, 40 years, who are the fans of tomorrow going to be talking about for the wrestlers of today? And Mikey O'Shea is absolutely at the top of that list. There's no better way to crown that than by calling him Legacy Champion. And my goodness, he is just all over Caleb Konley, who cannot even get his hands on Mikey O'Shea right now.
Well, now we see the usual starting strategy of O'Shea. Blood running to the head of the champion. O'Shea, one arm, vertical suplex. And champion in trouble. This might be quick, but only a count of two. But to give credit where credit's due, Konley, an incredible athlete. He's a great striker. We've seen him do incredible things when he wants to do inside that ring. But can he get up O'Shea for that cradle shock to try and put him away?
Well, that's question number one. Question number two is, at what point is Konley just going to cut bait and run away? Take that belt, go to the back, take the count out loss, but walk out as Legacy Champion. Todd, my money's on something like that happening at this point.
I didn't want to go there because I didn't even want to put that out in the atmosphere, but it's a reality you got to deal with when you're in there with Konley. He takes full advantage of the championship advantage.
Yeah, we talked about it in the opening contest tonight and have seen that from the former Pacific Northwest champion in Hammerstone, but Konley, we have seen it time and time again. He doesn't care if he wins, loses, embarrasses his opponent, as long as he walks out with that Legacy title around his waist. He's done it against Mikey O'Shea before. Frankly, he may do it again tonight.
History already made tonight. Gangrel winning the Pacific Northwest Championship from somebody who seemed unbeatable for many, many months in Hammerstone. Is that a little foreshadowing of things to come? Will it be 2 title changes in a row? What a great night for our fans. 3 championship matches.
That could be 2 title changes. It could be 3. We could have new tag team champions. And don't forget, Todd, next week, Gangrel defends his Pacific Northwest Championship against the Toll Man, Kevin Cross. Man, they are pulling out all the stops right now in the championship ranks here in the West Coast Wrestling Connection.
What a physical challenge, laying in wait for the Vampire. It's going to be, in essence, it's Vampire versus Frankenstein's monster next week. Gangrel, no rest for the wicked. Got to put that title on the line. Matt Stryker in action in a featured contest next week as well. But tonight it's all about the gold. And the champion Konley has turned this thing around, and he is punishing the challenger O'Shea at this point in the match.
As you said earlier, such a skilled striker is Caleb Konley, and he's right there in the midsection of Mikey O'Shea. It takes a lot more oxygen and a lot more blood for Mikey O'Shea to move around the ring. He's just a big guy. He's a monster. He's so powerful. Konley going for the win.
And Konley, at this point in the matchup, Jeff, has been able to neutralize all that. Everybody's the same size when they're horizontal. And Konley able to keep the big, powerful Juggernaut, the challenger, on the mat in the last couple minutes. O'Shea using a lot of energy in that early onslaught in the matchup. How much does he have left in the tank?
Well, I think he's got a little bit left in this tank, but it's the second tank, the third tank, and the fourth tank that we've seen from Mikey O'Shea more than once in these high-profile matches. Mikey O'Shea is a fourth-quarter player, but Caleb Konley came out of nowhere with that big left hand, and Mikey O'Shea is seen into the future right now.
Champ trying to put him away again. Only a count of 2. Sense of urgency there for O'Shea, who looks worse for wear. Yeah, not often. You would think a guy the size of O'Shea, if the match went into deep water, he'd start to gas out. But we've seen time and time again, O'Shea finds that second, third, fourth gear and can hang when matches go long.
Well, I think it's almost to his advantage the longer this match goes, and Caleb Konley doing what we've seen a number of times, going to that camera, John, mugging for the fans right there, but that is exactly what's going to hurt him. He needs to keep his eye on the prize if he's going to successfully defend the title tonight.
O'Shea looked like he was punching underwater, though. Oh! A step or 2 behind, but maybe he was just playing possum. Beautiful counter there by the challenger. Got those big oak tree-like legs up. Catches the boot. Now O'Shea sees those strikes coming, and he's looking to return fire. Can he do it? Yes. Big cannon shot there with the clothesline.
Takes the head off of Caleb Konley, sends him into the ropes, and now we're seeing that powerhouse that we've seen from Mikey O'Shea. He can taste the gold, he can feel it, and he is not going to stop until it's around his waist.
Yeah, the big Irishman, he wants that pot of gold. He wants that 10 pounds of leather and gold around his waist. Sidewalk slam, got the champ in trouble. Big splash. Hey, might as well make it a 5 count. The avalanche comes down, but only a count of 2.
And Mikey O'Shea flabbergasted. He thought he had Caleb Konley beat, and the way Caleb Konley's slow to get back to his feet, I almost think he may have thought that he was beaten as well.
Back and forth seesaw action. Legacy title hanging in the balance. What a night it's already been. Gangrel, the new Pacific Northwest champ. And a big shot there, lights out.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, he got him up, I couldn't believe it. Cradle shot. How in the world did he do that?
Oh my goodness, and Mikey O'Shea. Mikey O'Shea finds it somewhere. He kicked out. Todd, I thought that Caleb Konley had beat him. I couldn't believe he got him in that cradle shock, and then for O'Shea to kick out.
What was more impressive, the champion getting O'Shea up for the cradle shock, or the fact that O'Shea actually kicked out?
Physics have been defied right here in the West Coast Wrestling Connection. Can Mikey O'Shea capitalize? No, Caleb Konley going for it again.
Couldn't hit it this time. O'Shea goes downstairs, has him hooked. Oh man, might be a big time power bomb. Champion out the back door, and I think that knee might have buckled, might have dislocated the kneecap.
The referee trying to give a moment now for Konley. No, Konley's got the belt, and he goes.
Trying to take advantage again, trying to get disqualified. O'Shea, gunslinger, deep hook of the leg. 2 in a row.
Oh my goodness!
Ladies and gentlemen, your winner and new West Coast Wrestling Connection Legacy Champion, Mikey O'Shea.
This is one for the books. History in spades. 2 title matches in a row. 2 titles change hands. And is there a more deserving champion than that man, Mikey O'Shea, who I gotta believe, much like Gangrel did, is gonna return luster to that legacy title.
Look at the emotion on the face of Mikey O'Shea. He has fought so hard, and fans, what better champion for the Legacy Championship is there than Mikey O'Shea? It is with pride that I say right now, we have a new Pacific Northwest champion, but right now in the middle of the ring, Mikey O'Shea, your WCWC Legacy Champion.
What a night, what a moment, and what an eruption from this crowd. Respecting the new champion, O'Shea. Konley coming over here throwing a fit, but to no avail. That man is the new legacy champion, O'Shea. I know it's cliche in wrestling, but he really is a champion of the people. He's blue collar, he's hard working, he's earned everything he's gotten, and he earned this championship tonight.
Folks, we're 2 for 2 on championship changes tonight. We have our main event coming up right after this. The WCWC Tag Team titles on the line as the Whirlwind Gentlemen defend once again against the Wrecking Crew.
Congratulations, Mikey O'Shea. You deserve it.
This is the Dapper Duo, the Whirlwind Gentlemen, Jack Manley, Remy Marcel, and coming up, you've got a title defense.
Pat Kelly, let me tell you something. The Wrecking Crew, they faced us once, they faced us twice, but it don't matter how many times they face us, baby, because tonight outcome is gonna be the same. The Whirlwind Gentlemen still on top. WCWC Tag Team Champions. Let them know, Jack. At the end of the day, the result is the same. My man with the fro said it best. That dapper duo, those handsome boys, still the WCWC Tag Team Champions. Manly, Marcel, Whirlwind Gentlemen.
The Whirlwind Gentlemen, the dapper duo, they've got that title defense coming up against the Wrecking Crew. And that's coming up next, right here, the West Coast Wrestling Connection.
Just look at this one. This is a 2001 Dodge. Look at the flawless paint, beautiful lines.
Wait a minute, wait just a minute. Are you really trying to sell this young lady this piece of junk? Let me tell you something. At the Vancouver auction outlet, we only sell the best cars around. Take a look at these cars right here. That's what you're looking for. They got a name for you. Well, you're the greatest car lot in the car lot business today. They don't call you a great car lot. They call you the Vancouver auction outlet. Beat it if you can.
Dave's Killer Magic Shop.
Oh, there's no such thing as magic.
Mickey.
You believe in magic now?
Dave's Killer Magic Shop for all your magic and novelty needs from A to Z. Awesome gags, bacon band-aids, finger underwear, magic kits, tricks to pick up chicks, zombie figurines, and much, much more.
Get your kicks with Dave's Killer Tricks.
Want to know what's going on in the West Coast Wrestling Connection? Then follow us on social media. Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, the WCWC, and WC-WC.com. The WCWC on social media, it's where we're at.
Jack, Remy, you're looking at two guys that know just how great of an athlete you two really, truly are. We know what you guys can do in that squared circle time and time again. We've come up short. But tonight is a new night, and the tag titles are going back where they belong.
Grappler 3 and Jeremy Blanchard, the Wrecking Crew.
Main event time here on the West Coast Wrestling Connection, and there you see the challengers, the Wrecking Crew, Blanchard and G3. Since the injury of the legendary grappler, Blanchard kind of taken over a leadership role.
That he has, and there's an old saying, if you remember 243rd time's a charm, let's see if the Wrecking Crew can get that done and get those tag team belts tonight.
And their opponents.
They are the West Coast Wrestling Connection Tag Team Champions, Remy Marcel, Jack Manley, the Whirlwind Gentlemen.
You're right, Jeff. The Wrecking Crew have tried various combinations, but they haven't had the combination to the riddle, to the safe that is the Whirlwind Gentlemen and their tag team title reign. But if you were going to do it, tonight would be the night. History made, time over again. 2 championship reigns come to an end, 2 new ones start. Will we see that again in our tag team title main event?
Todd, how often do you see a night like this where championships changing hands? First, to have all 3 WCWC championships on the line in and of itself, historic. And then for all of them to be on the line and 2 for 2 to change. Are you looking right now at the past of the former tag team champions and soon to be future? Well, you're just going to have to stay tuned to find out.
Sports Radio 750 and 1029 The Game is Portland Sports Station. Dan Patrick live 6 to 9 a.m. Jim Rome 9 to noon. John Canzano noon to 3. The Huddle with Mike Rags 3 to 7. 750 and 1029 The Game.
It's summer, and the action is heating up in the West Coast Wrestling Connection. So don't miss their next live PDX TV taping, Saturday, August 8th at the Jackson Armory in Portland. Tickets are only $10. Buy one and get one half off with no limit on half-off tickets. First bell is at 1 p.m. You'll see all of the top stars, the most action, and the best matches that WC has to offer. Tickets will be available at the door by calling a WC hotline or at tickets at WC-WC.com. This summer, there's nothing like the WC Live. See you there.
Sports Radio 750 and 1029 The Game is Portland Sports Station. Dan Patrick live 6 to 9 a.m. Jim Rome 9 to noon. John Canzano noon to 3. The Huddle with Mike Rags 3 to 7. 750 and 1029 The Game.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, what we're seeing right now is the Wrecking Crew in the corner. They are ready for this matchup. They have faced the Whirlwind Gentlemen a number of times. The referee over on the other side, the championship match, you want to make sure it's contested on the highest grounds possible. And so he's making sure they don't have any foreign objects in there, and that's the prize. That's what it's all about right there. The Tag Team Championship belts. The Wrecking Crew want them, and they want them bad.
Jeremy Blanchard, former tag team title holder, before he stabbed his championship partner Mikey O'Shea in the back, but things turned out all right for Mikey O'Shea, didn't they?
I think they turned out just great. Your new WCWC Legacy champion. You have to wonder, there's still some unresolved tension between Jeremy Blanchard and Mikey O'Shea. You have to wonder if that's playing into the psyche of Jeremy Blanchard right now, to know that really his arch nemesis and Mikey O'Shea is now standing atop the division as Legacy champion. And Remy Marcel, a little dangerous tactic there, poking the bear of Grappler 3, and here you do, you get what you ask for, and referee stopping him from coming in.
Interesting technique there by Marcel to neutralize that attempt at the tag. They're gonna have to use their quickness, gonna have to stick and move, because they don't want to go toe-to-toe with these two powerhouses, Blanchard and G3.
Well, Remy Marcel has got that headlock in tight right now, and that is definitely having an impact on Jeremy Blanchard, squeezing on the skull of the former tag team champion. And now Remy Marcel, big backdrop to Grappler 3. He's taking on the Wrecking Crew single-handed. Oh no. Hey, that turned out just fine as the Whirlwind Gentlemen whirl in the wind, and now we've got all four competitors in the ring.
Dividing, conquering. Now you got a pair of atomic drops, a little meeting of the minds, and a pair of drop kicks. And the champions are rocking and rolling so far.
Well, this is a much different matchup than we've seen between the Gentlemen and the Wrecking Crew in times past. They know each other so very well, and the Whirlwind Gentlemen seem to have changed their game up just enough. They've got the Wrecking Crew questioning everything they're doing. Jack Manley now the legal man in the ring, and we're going to see what the Gentlemen have to bring next for the Wrecking Crew.
And do you think that Blanchard and G3 realize, hey, we cannot allow the champions to keep this quick pace? A, they're going to be on the offensive. B, we can't keep up with it for the long haul. So they immediately rolled to the outside, broke that chain of momentum, and it's back to square one between champions and challengers.
You have to wonder also, you mentioned it at the beginning of this matchup, but Jeremy Blanchard showing a much stronger leadership role in the Wrecking Crew with the Grappler, apparently down and out for the unforeseeable future. I understand that he's beginning to convalesce and doing a little bit better, but still clearly not here on the West Coast Wrestling Connection. But is Jeremy Blanchard maybe taking a different approach? Is he teaching a different style in the Wrecking Crew? Is he making them come at this differently? Well, we're gonna have to wait and see, but Grappler 3 doing what he does best and just assaulting Remy Marcel.
Got ourselves a new Defense Against the Dark Arts instructor at Hogwarts.
That must be another year.
And a big shot there by Blanchard, who corners Marcel. And this is sound strategy here. Gut buster. Because they're dividing, conquering, and not allowing for the double teaming. And Blanchard pretty full of himself after that.
One right now doing everything he can to get to the head of the Whirlwind Gentlemen, covering barely a 2 count right there. Well, if you can't pin him, why not choke him? Jeremy Blanchard right in front of the referee.
Got to be careful, though. Blanchard, I'm sure he's got the memory to know, came very close to defeating the Whirlwind Gentlemen, along with the toll man, Kevin Cross, but Cross wouldn't break that choke, got disqualified, cost him their shot at the titles. So Blanchard's got to be careful to break before that 5 count. He was flirting with disaster.
Well, it makes me wonder a little bit, Todd. Maybe the Wrecking Crew's not after the Tag Team Championships. You know, it was Remy Marcel specifically, but the Whirlwind Gentlemen in general that put the Grappler out. He was wheeled out of here after the 5-star throw splash by Remy Marcel. Maybe the Wrecking Crew is just looking for a little revenge tonight.
Certainly could be the case, but I think they'd like to double up, get the revenge, and win the titles, because they know that the Gentlemen cherish those tag team titles. They cherish the fan support. They'd love to take everything away from the Whirlwind Gentlemen tonight.
Jeremy Blanchard getting into the mouth and the eyes of Remy Marcel, yet that headband stays on there. Just such a harsh, physical, aggressive style by both Grappler 3 and Jeremy Blanchard. Blanchard going for the pin, lateral press.
After the double underhook Butterfly suplex, another power move, and they start to fight their fight. Throwing the whirlwind gentlemen around, and gentlemen are known for flying, but this isn't the way they like to go about it.
No, not at all. And the Wrecking Crew have taken charge of this matchup, mocking Jack Manley, Remy Marcel in dangerous territory as Grappler 3 comes in. And right now the Wrecking Crew is wrestling their match.
It's been a huge night of action, 2 title changes. Will we see a third in this matchup? Right now it's looking pretty good for the Wrecking Crew, but next week we talked about it. Gangrel defends the Pacific Northwest Championship against Kevin Cross. Cannot wait for that. Matt Stryker in action, that and so much more. Join us next week as G3 just trying to grind out this win. And Marcel fighting out of it, but oh man, Blanchard almost had a handful of fro.
Well, he tried for it right there with just a 2 count there. He tried for it with that non-orthopedic arm. You know, I gotta wonder, between these two guys, there's a lot of orthopedic money being made by somebody with the boot and the arm brace. And tick-tock, until one of those two medical devices, quote unquote, makes its presence known in this match.
Yeah, I hope they've got good insurance.
Does anybody anymore?
The challengers, though, have made frequent tags, so these 2 big brawlers staying fresh. Nice swinging neck breaker. I said they were rock and rolling. That was a little shake, rattle, and roll there by Remy Marcel, but he's going the wrong way. Long way from his corner. He doesn't know where he is at this point.
No, he's swimming for shore, whatever that shore might be. He may end up on the alien shore, but no, he's turning around. He's almost to Manley. It was a huge, unexpected error there by Jeremy Blanchard. Has completely shifted the momentum of this match. Grappler 3's in, and so is Jack Manley. It's go time.
Manley's fresh. He's been on that apron for quite some time, and he starts to deliver. Shot after shot. Hey, whoa. Throwing out the trash.
Well, hey, if you can't take on 2, get rid of 1 and go back. But man, Manley and G3 got it. Remy Marcel, oh my goodness.
Oh, he caught him and takes him right into the post. The champs are in trouble.
He's coming over. Hey, we're over to our broadcast location and takes away our 3rd chair, which is, whoa!
Tried to take out Marcel, nobody home. The ref not seeing any of this chair shot. I think the ref turned and got a glimpse of it as we await the official word.
Ladies and gentlemen, your winners of this match, as the result of a disqualification, Jack Manley, Remy Marcel, the Whirlwind Gentlemen.
So the gentlemen get the victory by disqualification, but now we might see what you thought could be the case. Were they after the titles, or did they just want to inflict punishment and get revenge at any cost? That might be the case here, Jeff.
Well, we'll see, but the Whirlwind Gentlemen having their way, and no! Wrecking Crew duck out, and they are heading out of town.
On a night that it didn't bode well for champions coming in, 2 champions lost their titles. Somehow, some way, the Whirlwind Gentlemen weathered the storm. They held on to the gold in an incredible night of action that we'll never forget. And we're going to keep this train rolling down the track next week. Tell them about it.
That we are. We have Gangrel, your new Pacific Northwest champion, defending his title against Kevin Cross, the Toll Man. Even though he's coming off the heels of defeating Hammerstone, he is about to face one of the biggest, roughest, and baddest competitors from the West Coast Wrestling Connection. And there they are, ladies and gentlemen, your WCWC Tag Team Champions. You've got to wonder who's next in line for a shot at those titles. But Todd, the way championships have been changing hands, you know they've got a bright target painted on their backs.
It's summer, and the action is heating up in the West Coast Wrestling Connection, so the time is right to see them live. Sunday, August 2nd at the Grapplers WCWC Academy in Salem. First bell is at 5 p.m. You'll see many of the top West Coast Wrestling Connection competitors, along with Academy students, as they battle it out for victory. For tickets, call 971-600-8215 or go to tickets at wc-wc.com. Summer's here, and so is the WC Live. See you there.